We're going to get started now. Okay, so sorry if my computer takes a few minutes to load everything. It's being very slow today for some reason, and I'm not sure why exactly it's being slow, but we're going to get started. So today I'm going to be talking to you about adoption and implementation of the DACA program, or the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. But as we get started, we're going to start off by going through the video guide. If it will load. Or being slow, I don't know. There we go. Okay. So the video guide. So first we're going to talk about the adoption. We're going to go through adoption and implementation. We're going to go through. I needed to fix that last implementation. We're going to go through adoption through the political landscape, an alternative, as well as approaches to passing alternative, or the approach to pass an alternative. And then we're going to go through implementation. I'm going to talk about how it was federally enacted, and then it was implemented mostly through state and organizations. So to start off, we're going to talk about the political landscape, starting with it. So back in 2012, Republicans held control of the House. They held 242 seats to 193. So Democrats had 193, Republicans had 242. Democrats held control of the Senate, though. They had 51 seats, while the Republicans had 47. And then you see those were two independents, and those two independents typically caucus with the Democrats. And the Democrats also had control of the White House, with President Obama being the acting president at the time. So it was kind of hard I meant to put Dreamers, but I accidentally have DACA instead. It'd be hard. Let me put it this way: it'd be hard for DACA to be considered an act if it was an act to get passed in the House of Representatives, and it would fail in Congress altogether. So it would never be able to get sent to the president to get signed to be acted into law, or as a program, I should say. That's why President Obama created DACA through an executive order or memorandum. He said in his announcement of it, he said, in the absence of any immigration, or he claimed a reason for it being in the absence of any immigration action from Congress to fix our broken immigration system as a reason for creating DACA. Now we're going to move on to the next part, which is an alternative. So in reality, DACA itself is an alternative to the Dreamers Act. The Dreamers Act was a bipartisan created act that is very similar to DACA. It has been introduced several times into Congress, but has failed to pass in both chambers of Congress. I will say that it has there have been different versions that have been able to pass in one or the other chamber, but not both at the same time, not the same version. So for adoption, the decision makers and stakeholders, the decision makers, and my slide was not working when I created this. Congress, they have the ability to create the federal program, or make the federal program law, and provide it with funding. Currently, DACA does not have any funding, or DACA is not federally funded. They are self-funded from application fees. The president also is a decision maker, as he has the authority to create the program using an executive order or executive memorandum. But the president also has the ability to rescind it, has the ability to rescind previous administrations' executive orders and memorandums, although there was a little bit of a confusion over that power when President Trump tried to rescind DACA. the program was, or he was able to get new people to stop from applying, but he was unable to kick off existing members or prohibit them from reapplying for the program. So, and then also states hold a or states and organizations are they hold the power in or they have a stakeholder in the program itself. States specifically, they are the ones who are the ones that house these people. It's part of their population, and these and organizations, they help implement it. But I will bring that up later. Okay, so so moving on to implementation from adaptation or adoption. I think I might have missed. No, I had it. Okay. So implementation. So it was a federal. It was federally enacted. It was announced on the 15th of June in 2012, first by the Secretary of Homeland Security, and then Obama had a speech over it later on that day announcing it. And they started accepting applications for the program in August of that same year, in 2012. The federal government agencies were the ones that processed these applications. So the program, or the agency itself that helped that was the one that processed it, was the U.S. CIS, which stands for United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. They were the ones that did background checks and approved and denied applications. And then moving on, the main implementation came from organizations. States were some states were very hesitant about implementing the program or informing the people or informing those eligible for the program about it. States had been feeling like there had not been a lot of immigration enforcement coming from the federal government, and they had been increasingly criminalizing immigration themselves. And states, more states were more often would rely on federal funding to help process or inform these individuals that would later apply for it, but the government did not fund them for it. So it was mostly up to organizations that were the ones that informed immigrants about the program and how to apply. They relied a lot on religious institutions, especially the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church was seen as a voice to connect those groups together. Yeah. So that concludes my presentation over the adoption and implementation of the DACA program. Thank you.